Hello and welcome to the Celebrating Life podcast with Sony Thomas. Let me invite you to a small thought that can create a big impact for you in celebrating your life. In today's episode of Small Thought, Big Impact, we continue where we left off last week and dive into the second D in the 3 Ds of parenting. Children's behaviors are motivated by a combination of biological, psychological, and social needs. Understanding what the child's needs are will help in better managing their behavior. Behaviors can be instinctive or learned, and it always serves a purpose. One such behavior is destructive behavior. The fact is, most kids destroy property as a way of coping with their frustration and extreme feelings. It makes them feel better for a while, but it is a terrible coping tool because it will lead to terrible consequences down the road as a child reaches adulthood. The label, Sony is a destructive child, is something I had to personally work through. Even now, when I speak to my aunts or my uncles, they all share stories of how I would destroy things and take things apart. However, knowing what I know today, I feel the label came more from my destructive play and not so much from my destructive behavior. You see, destructive play does not necessarily mean that the child is frustrated and angry, but may be curious to know the cause effect relationship or has a mechanical mindset. That is, the need to know how things work. Destructive behavior, on the other hand, is an outcome of unbridled emotion and short impulse control. It is coming from a place of low tolerance for frustration and anger. Every child might display destructive behavior to some varying degree as they are learning the ropes to their emotions. And there are some children who thrive on destructive behavior to get what they want through intimidation or display passive aggressive behaviors to express their revenge for the anger they are feeling. If not helped, these behaviors will negatively impact how these kids perform in school and at home, and it will affect their social relationship with their parents, siblings, teachers, and peers. And worse, as adults, it will bring on professional, personal, and social loss, and maybe even self harm. From personal experience, I would say, as parents and family, the first step is to understand the difference between destructive play and destructive behavior, and to avoid labeling the child as destructive nonetheless. I would say there has to be a sense of urgency in this matter and never to let slide the destructive behavior even once. At the first instance, address it. Put down clearly the rules regarding destruction and stick to them. You see, sometimes as parents, we let it slide because the child expresses remorse for their destructive behavior. Maybe so. It is good that your child feels remorse for their action, but they still must be held accountable. In their adult life, if the same young person is in front of the judge after smashing someone's property and says, "I'm really sorry, Your Honor, I was just so upset," is it going to save them from the consequence? Natural consequences are a good way to help your child work through destructive behavior. Often, the natural consequence of destructive behavior is a good punishment in itself. For example, the child throws their phone in a fit of anger. Natural consequence, they don't get a new phone. Try to think of property destruction as a learning opportunity. Your job as a parent is to prepare your child for adult life. For adults, if you destroy property, there are consequences. Sometimes those consequences are financial and sometimes legal. You want to respond to your child's destructive behavior in a way that leaves no doubt about what they will experience should they engage in destructive behavior. Remember, if you don't hold your child responsible for their destructive behavior, you are not doing them any favor as they prepare for the real world. Holding a child responsible for damages to your property is done out of love and respect. As parents, I know we might feel angry, even furious, when our child damages our property. That's completely understandable. Property destruction is a personal violation, and it hurts to have a child treat something that we have worked hard for with such little respect. Regardless, tell yourself that this is about your child's poor coping and not about you personally. Doing so will make you respond more calmly and effectively. Remind yourself that these things will take time and your child will need time and practice to improve their coping skills. So be gentle, consistent, and persistently hold your child accountable. I can guarantee the effort will be worth it. Celebrating life is about the journey, and if I have brought value to your journey of life, I urge you to share this small thought with a close friend, a family member, or even a colleague so we can together build a happier world. For more thoughts on celebrating life, I invite you to stay connected with us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the Celebrating Life community. Thank you for your time and make it a wonderful day.